Hey there, Virgo. I am doing a reading for you. These are timeless readings for really whoever finds it, but I am titling it a Virgo reading, thinking of it from that perspective. So thanks for joining me. Let's see what's going on.
Um, have you been feeling something shifting in your relationship with work, with productivity, with the constant need to prove your worth through doing? There's this energy around you right now that's inviting you to release, to soften, to step into a different way of existing that might feel almost foreign to your nature. You might be noticing opportunities emerging that don't require you to micromanage every detail or sacrifice your well being anymore. Something is changing in how life wants to support you, and what you're sensing isn't just fantasy. Stay with me, because what's coming through about your path forward might validate exactly what you've been feeling in those rare moments when you allow yourself to imagine a life that feels softer, more easeful, more nourishing. Let me tell you what I'm seeing in the energy around you right now. The first thing that's coming through is this profound invitation to redefine what productivity and value mean for you. For so long, you might have carried this belief that your worth is directly tied to how much you accomplish, that rest is something you only deserve after you've perfected everything on your list, that ease is somehow irresponsible or lazy, and the energy is whispering. Those old programs are ready to be released. What's opening up for you now is an entirely different relationship with how you move through the world. Here's what's emerging in your field. You might be noticing that life is starting to flow in ways that don't require you to control every variable. Not because you're becoming careless, but because you're learning to trust a different kind of intelligence. There's this sense that the structures you've been building, the systems you've been refining, the discipline you've been cultivating, they're reaching a point where they can start working for you instead of you working endlessly for them. This could show up as income streams that feel more passive. You might be experiencing situations where your past efforts are generating results without constant intervention. Or perhaps you're noticing that opportunities are coming to you rather than you having to chase them down with your usual intensity. What I'm sensing is that you're being supported in ways that allow you to exhale, to actually receive instead of constantly producing. And here's where it gets interesting for you specifically. As a Virgo energy, your natural inclination is to analyze, to improve, to fix, to serve. You might have built your entire identity around being the person who handles things, who solves problems, who makes everything run smoothly for everyone else. But what's coming through is this question: what if you didn't have to be the one holding everything together all the time? This reflection invites you to consider what would become possible if you trusted that things could work out without your constant vigilance. You might be feeling resistance to this shift. Part of you might be wondering if it's safe to relax your grip, to stop optimizing every moment, to allow yourself to just be. There could be this voice inside you saying that if you're not working hard, you're not worthy, that if you're not improving something, you're wasting time, that softness equals weakness or lack of ambition. But what I'm picking up on is that the soft life isn't about becoming lazy or unproductive. It's about working smarter, not harder. It's about allowing yourself to be supported by systems, by investments, by relationships, by opportunities that don't drain you. It's about recognizing that your value isn't determined by how much you sacrifice or how perfectly you execute every detail. The energy around you right now is abundant. You might be experiencing or about to experience a shift where money, resources, or support starts flowing more easily. This could look like a raise, a new income opportunity, passive revenue from something you built previously, or even support from others that allows you to step back from certain responsibilities. What's important is that you're being invited to receive. And for someone with your energy, receiving can actually be harder than giving. There's also this theme of pleasure and sensory experience coming through. You've spent so much time in your head, in analysis mode, in problem solving mode. The soft life is asking you to drop into your body, to notice what feels good, to prioritize comfort, beauty, rest, nourishment, to understand that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's actually what allows you to show up more fully for everything that matters to you. This reflection invites you to consider what parts of your daily life could be more pleasurable if you gave yourself permission to prioritize how things feel, not just how efficient they are. Um, you might be noticing that your relationship with time is shifting to where you used to fill every moment with tasks and optimization. There could be this new awareness emerging that spaciousness is valuable, that boredom isn't something to fix immediately, that doing nothing can actually be deeply productive in ways that aren't measurable or visible. What I'm sensing is that you're being supported in building a life that doesn't require you to be on all the time. A life where your nervous system can actually relax, where you're not constantly scanning for problems or inefficiencies, where you can trust that things will unfold without your micromanagement. And here's what might be challenging for you: letting go of control, accepting that you don't need to have a detailed plan for every scenario, trusting that abundance can come through channels you didn't anticipate or engineer yourself, believing that you deserve ease not because you've earned it through suffering, but simply because you exist. The financial shifts that might be occurring or approaching aren't random. They're a reflection of the inner work you've been doing, often without even realizing it. Every time you've chosen to rest instead of push, every time you've said no to something that would have drained you, every time you've invested in quality over quantity, every time you've honored your body's needs instead of overriding them with willpower, all of that has been building toward this. This reflection invites you to consider what you've been investing in, consciously or unconsciously, that's now ready to support you in return. You might be experiencing moments where you feel guilty about not working as hard as you used to, where you question whether you're doing enough, where you wonder if accepting support or ease means you're somehow failing at being responsible or capable. Those voices are old programs, they're not truth. What's true is that you're evolving into a version of yourself that understands sustainability, that recognizes burnout isn't a badge of honor, that knows your worth isn't contingent on your productivity, that trusts you can be soft and still be successful, abundant, and valuable. The soft life for you isn't about abandoning all structure or discipline. You'll probably always have systems and organization as part of how you operate. That's in your nature. But what's shifting is the energy behind it. Instead of driving yourself from a place of anxiety or never enoughness, you could be moving from a place of trust and alignment. Instead of forcing and controlling, you might be allowing and collaborating with life's flow. There's also this invitation to reassess what you're working toward. You might have been climbing toward goals that were based on proving something or meeting external standards. The energy is asking, what do you actually want? What would feel luxurious and nourishing to you? What does your version of the soft life look like? Not anyone else's. Um, for some of you, this might involve scaling back commitments. For others, it might mean staying busy, but only with things that genuinely light you up. For others, still, it could mean completely restructuring your income so it's less dependent on your time and energy. There's no single right way, but there is your way, and you're being supported in discovering it. This reflection invites you to consider what your ideal day would look and feel like if you removed all the shoulds and only kept what genuinely nourishes you. What I'm seeing is that you're being invited to trust a kind of abundance that doesn't require constant striving, to believe that the universe can support you in ways that feel gentle and easeful, to accept that you don't have to earn your worthiness through exhaustion. You might be noticing synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, or resources appearing in your life that feel almost too good to be true. That's not accident, that's alignment. That's what happens when you start releasing the grip of control and allowing yourself to be supported by something larger than your individual effort. The shift you're experiencing or about to experience isn't about becoming a different person, it's about becoming more fully yourself. The version of you that isn't performing or proving, the version that trusts their value, the version that knows ease and abundance are birthright, not rewards for suffering. So as you move forward, pay attention to where you're still holding tension unnecessarily. Notice where you're over functioning out of habit rather than necessity. Observe where you could delegate, release, or simplify. Feel into what actually brings you pleasure and peace, and give yourself permission to prioritize that. Not someday, but now. The soft life is available to you, not as some distant dream, but as a present reality you're being invited to step into. And it doesn't require you to become less disciplined or capable. It just requires you to redirect those gifts toward building a life that sustains you instead of depletes you. Trust what you're sensing, trust what's emerging, trust that you deserve this because you do.